What would you do if a child who never lived long enough to breathe, suddenly left you a birthday card? You hold the paper, your heart locks in place, and one chilling question rises. Who carved those trembling words? If the child never had a chance to write, step into this story and feel the moment everything changes. This is Whisper from History, where forgotten voices rise again. The old house stood quiet in the late afternoon light, and the floorboards carried the faint memory of running footsteps that no one had heard in decades. In a small wooden box tucked deep inside a bedroom drawer, someone found a birthday card, a simple, folded piece of faded paper with shaky letters that looked like a child had written them. But the family knew their history too well. No child in this house had ever learned to write. So whose tiny hand had shaped those trembling words? The card felt warm, as if it held its own breath, and the edges were softened by years of handling. Inside it, only a few words appeared uneven and almost carved into the paper. They read, "Happy birthday, Mama, I am still here." The letters rose and dipped, like someone learning to shape meaning for the very first time. But the family lineage held no memory of such a child. No school records, no birth certificates, no tales passed down through generations. Just that single message waiting quietly in the dark. But this was only the beginning. The room where the card was found once belonged to a woman named Sophia. She had lived through a quiet sorrow, losing a baby long before the child could speak or even open their eyes to the world. She never spoke of it. She kept the grief folded inside herself like a hidden quilt. And every year on her birthday, she locked herself in that room, lighting a single candle, humming a lullaby to someone who never had a chance to grow. So when the family discovered the card decades later, their hearts tightened. Who wrote it if the child never lived long enough to see the light? The truth was far darker than anyone imagined. Neighbors had whispered that Sophia often sat in that room alone, yet not quite alone. They spoke of soft taps on the window, gentle enough to be mistaken for a bird's wing. They mentioned the sound of tiny feet pattering across the floor when no children played in the house. And on quiet nights, some swore they heard a small voice echoing softly, "Mama." But what was really happening behind the curtain? Some believed the grief had created an echo, a lingering presence shaped by a life unfinished. Others said love so strong can leave an imprint even without breath or heartbeat. The card became a symbol of a connection that refused to fade, a message from a moment that never fully ended. In the end, the paper was placed back inside the wooden box where it had rested for so long. The house grew silent again, but the message remained, a reminder of a child who never learned to write, yet somehow found a way to speak through time. Even today, that card remains hidden inside the closed box. The house has learned the language of silence, but the hand that carved those words, its story still drifts through the air, as if something is not yet finished, as if it is still here. If something like this ever happened to you, what would you feel in that moment? Tell us in the comments. And if this story touched your heart, do not forget to subscribe to the channel.